Hello and welcome to my final project presentation data. It's based off of movie gross ratings. My name is Julie Salanis and this is for INFS 6356, and I will be going over my presentation. Just to give you a table of contents of this presentation, I'll go over an introduction, the data set and sources, some challenges, and then I'll go ahead and do a demonstration on the Tableau visualizations. So an introduction for this project, something that I really want to focus on was something that I'm personally a fan of. So I am very passionate about movies. I like to go to the movies once or maybe like 3 times max a month, depending on when there's a new movie coming out that I enjoy. So I wanted to focus my attention on that. And then I wanted to also focus on something that was had amounts. So I was focusing on the gross amounts and the ratings for the movies. So data set and sources. So as I mentioned, my data set is involving movie gross amounts and ratings. The source is from data.world. My period for the data set is between 1989 and 2014. The numbers of rows are 510, and then the numbers of the columns of the data is 10. And just to kind of quickly show you the data set, I will go ahead and show you the Excel. So as you can see, it's formatted very nicely. We have a unique ID for the movies. We have the title, the MPA rating, the budget, gross amounts, release dates, genre, runtime, ratings, and then rating count. This is how many people performed a rating on the movie. If I go back to my presentation. So the dataset description, I went ahead and labeled all the 10 columns on the left side and then the description on the right side. So movie ID is a unique ID from 1 to 510. The movie title is the title of the film, of course. We have MPA ratings, which are GPG, PG-13, and rated R. And then we have budget amounts. That's how much could be spent on the film production. We have gross amount, which is how much they made from the movie. We have release dates, which is again from 1989 through 2014. The different genres of each movie. The runtime is how long the movie is in terms of how long it runs, right? Ratings, the rating is given between a 1 and a 10. The amount of the ratings is received to calculate the rating score. So yeah, that's the rating count. Some quick challenges that I did find when performing this project was finding a data set that was to my liking. I did not really know where to find, even though we had a lot of options. I think that was something that I struggled with, trying to find something that I was comfortable presenting to you, and that was something that I did encounter. Figuring out how to structure my charts and visualizations, that's something I don't like for all of them to look the same, so I tried to figure out how to change that visualization for the Tableau sheets. Adding filters to only one certain worksheet that uses the related data. I came to a point where I have 4 worksheets and I only needed to have the filter for 3 of them since I wanted the 4th one to be by itself, and that's something that I struggled with. Then creating a calculated field for the top 10 gross movies in order to shorten the gross amounts. Pretty much the format of the number, I wanted to change that. Instead of it showing 1 billion, I wanted to just show 100B or 1B, organizing the filters in the dashboard, that was reflecting to bullet point number 3. So I will go ahead and demonstrate my visualization. So to start off, I went ahead and inputted my data source, into the data source tab as an Excel sheet. So the first chart I have is gross earnings by genre. I really wanted to focus on which genre had the most average gross earnings. And as you can see in this case, we have fantasy was the number one, and then we have crime to be the lowest. And then I also added a filter to where I could go ahead and change it and focus just on maybe one instead of all of them. Just if I wanted to focus on a couple to compare, I could go ahead and do that. The next one is gross amounts versus budget amounts. So for this one, I went ahead and also you can change it depending on genre. I added that filter across the 3 worksheets that it's these first 3. We have in the light blue, that is the budget amount, and then we have the gross amounts in the darker blue. I also went ahead and added trend lines just to kind of see how they intertwine with each other right here at this point, and then how they both are steadily increasing, even though there's fluctuations between the years of 1989 to 2014. For this visualization, the same thing. I have the filter for all these 3. So again, you can go ahead and filter it by just having just a couple if that's what is needed. So if I need to do action and maybe comedy and drama, I can go ahead and kind of filter for which one had the highest rating between the 3 of them, and I can compare them. Right now I'll select all of them. So in this case, this is the average rating score per genre, and we can see that history has 7.6, which might be something that people are more interested in since it's relating maybe like real life events. And then you have family movies being a little bit on the lesser score. This is probably because they might not be as likable since they're a little cheesy sometimes, but that's to each liking. And then my 4th one, for this one, I didn't have the genres filter, but I did include a title filter. I wanted to just include the top 10 movies. So if I edit the filter, I can show you here. I had the top 10 movies based on gross amounts. And when doing so, these were the top 10 movies that were the highest in gross earnings between 1989 to 2014. We can see that Avatar was the highest grossing film, and then the lowest grossing film was The Dark Knight Rises between the 10 that I'm showing. There's probably less, but overall Avatar will be the highest. I also added an calculated field. Yeah, a calculated field where let me just show you. To convert the amounts from being maybe 121 billion, the way it's listed on the gross amount, just to showing 121.5 B instead of all of it altogether. And then lastly, my dashboard. So I wanted to show, let's see if I can minimize it. Oh. So for my dashboard, I wanted to display all 4 of my worksheets since they were intertwined with each other. Like I mentioned, I didn't want to include the genre in this sheet. So whenever I would change it here, I could go ahead and just keep that the same. So if I wanted to see comedy, the rest would change. And I could see the rating for comedy. I can go ahead and see the ratings for genres, the average gross earnings by genres, and then I can compare the budget and the gross amounts for comedy movies. But this is the way I structured my dashboard. And then I added the legend for this chart right here. And for the rest, they are in order from highest to lowest. Same thing with this chart down here. We have from highest to lowest with the scroll bar. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed this class. I think I learned a lot from it, especially using Tableau. I had never done so. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a great holiday. Bye.